Okay. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rebecca Lipson. I'm a Prime My Body International founder affiliate, and I'm coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. I know there's some people on here that I know and some that I don't. So I'll give you a little bit of just my background and how I came to be with Prime My Body before I introduce Kiana. So I actually came to Prime My Body through the product, which is a lot of ways that a primary way that people find themselves into this market. And I was looking for the best hemp oil on the market. I have a teenage daughter who was really struggling and needed some balance in her life. And I've researched and researched. I found the Prime My Body hemp oil, and that was it. It was like, this is the one. This is what I want to use. And I have not been disappointed in the least. And now my whole family, all of us use it, and we all experience different benefits. It's been amazing. It's been great actually for our whole family, just as a whole in our dynamic in our family. So I've been incredibly grateful for that. And kind of the hidden gem in all of this is I had no idea what network marketing was really about or like. I just kind of heard rumors that, you know, other people I'm sure have heard. And the more I got into it and the more excited I got about it, just the more amazing it became. And it was like, why isn't everybody doing this or open to it at least? And so that's why I wanted to do this. We kind of unofficially titled this like Network Marketing is a Revolutionary Act. And, and that's really what I realized is the more I got into this idea of network marketing, the more it was like, wow, this like appeals to the rebel in me, like this is something I can really get behind. So without further ado, I want to welcome Kiana Prema. Kiana is a Black Diamond in Prime My Body, and she has really taken the reins of her business and leading our whole team in this network marketing adventure. And I'm sure has had some epiphanies along the way, just like all of us have, and really delved into it. She just spent an amazing week with one of the top world leaders in network marketing. So I'm excited that this timing all worked out to have you join us right coming off of that and get a chance to kind of delve into this side of like, what is network marketing and why are we so excited about that and not just the product? So Kiana, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me to be part of this. I think this is such an exciting and awesome conversation. And as you mentioned, like being in this leadership conference that I was in, there was a big portion of it where we were just really talking about what is network marketing and what does that mean in the world of business and entrepreneurialism. And so I think it's a very exciting, important conversation. And I'm grateful to be here with you.
Yeah. So as we start out, maybe you could just talk a little bit about those practical benefits of being in network marketing as a business.
Yeah. So, when it comes to network marketing, we're not perfect, right? I just want to say that right off the bat. This isn't a perfect business model, right? Like you mentioned, a lot of us have had stories or experiences or rumors that we have kind of taken on to be true, whether we've had the actual experience ourselves of what network marketing is and who are the people that are in it. And so, there are some people that are in network marketing, have been in network marketing that have made it seem a little bit maybe icky, that have made it kind of feel like it's this get rich quick kind of a scheme. And, so it's not perfect, but the reality is that the actual model that's here, as far as entrepreneurialism goes, it's better. It's so much better than what else is out there. And when you look at the statistics of what it takes to start a small business, if you decided today that you wanted to kind of find some freedom, you wanted to not be inside of the system that exists and be, a worker, which is kind of our modern day version of slavery, honestly, but you wanted to start a business, it's true, right? You would have to, the average American, when they're putting into a small business, it's something like $60,000 to $70,000 that they invest initially to get started. right? And that's money that, nobody's really loaning a small business owner money. So that's money that they're collecting from friends and family and credit cards, right? So they're taking kind of this high risk debt to get started. And the statistics are not great as far as the number of people that stay in business 1 year, 2 year, 3 years out. It's something like 4 or 5 years into starting a business, only 4% of those that started will still be in business. And so when it comes to network marketing, right off the bat, our statistics are much better than that. We have a much easier, or much higher retainment rate within that, and we have a much easier getting started opportunity, which sometimes creates a bit of a challenge because it's not $60,000. People don't necessarily think what they're doing is this actual business opportunity. They have a hard time grasping the full potential of what's there and treat it a little bit more like a hobby or, just a thing that they do on the side type of a thing. But the potential here is actually really phenomenal. There are statistics that show that it's like 95%, and please know, it might be 92 or 96. I don't recall exactly, but it's like 95% of those who stay in network marketing for 10 years will have built a business to the top of their compensation plan pay rank. And pretty much any compensation plan in network marketing is going to have a residual effect. So that means you've created something now that's going to continue to pay out year and year and year after, even if you stop actively building the business. So when it just comes to the downright statistics of potential here and success that's here, when you compare what we have to any other form of entrepreneurialism, we're better. And when you compare what we have to the going to work at a job, I think most people could agree that we're better because we have so much freedom and flexibility. You have the opportunity to work from where you choose to work the hours that you choose to work, right? So you get to create a lifestyle and a business that are hand in hand, as opposed to, we're very compartmentalized in the corporate world where it's like, okay, I have work, and then I have the rest of my life that I try to squeeze in over here. And while sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to navigate how intertwined they become, what we're doing here really is about a lifestyle where work and business are really one and the same in so many ways. Oh, you're muted, I think, honey. I don't hear you.
Got
There
it.
you go.
That part is definitely appealing. I mean, just for me as a mother, and I've got a family that's really dynamic, and having that flexibility to be able to be present for school events and be able to work around things and be able to go on vacation with my family and still be able to work and maintain income is pretty incredible. Yes. So yeah, definitely. The next thing I want to kind of prior your brain about is really network marketing as a feminine or even a feminist business model. Because I think what we do is really different than, kind of the typical like corporate world or like your boss and you're the employee. Can you talk about that dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree that this is a feminine business model, feminist, right? I don't, maybe there's not a whole lot of difference there, but I see it as a feminine business model in several different ways. And one of it has to do with the fact that in this business, unlike not necessarily what we would find in corporate world, I believe there's a rhythm, there's a flow, right? And the feminine way, the feminine energy is something that's very cyclic, right? Like we have our waves, we ride these waves up and down. And so I see that in a side of our business as well. We'll go through periods where we're in a high action and a lot of kind of outward energy. And then we'll have these moments where we kind of dive deeper in. We dive in with our team, we dive in with our organization, and we really go into that place of growth and personal development. And we go deeper inwards towards ourselves and with our team than when we go out. But then we rise out of that again. And we go back into being out in the world, right? So that in itself, I feel there's a very feminine flow to that and kind of this underlying rhythm of how we work the business. The other piece of it that I really love is that I believe, and what I've experienced and what I've seen, The people that are the most successful in this business are those that show up authentically, that bring the trueness of who they are to the table. And to me, that feels very feminine, right? To be willing to kind of pull back the masks or reveal all of the aspects of ourselves and have that here. And so I think when we show up in that way, we're actually creating a lot of success here. And then it just comes down to also the foundational structure of this business model is that nobody's doing it alone. There's not a way to kind of reach success by stomping other people out. It's actually exactly the opposite. If you want to rise to the top, you have got to build the people that are in your team and your organization. You have to build and rise them up as well, because when we all rise together. And so to me, that's very feminine. There's this very collaborative effort that's happening here. And again, really focused on authenticity and growth and being in rhythm and collaboration with one another.
Yeah, absolutely. Another aspect that I really noticed is just that sense of community.
Absolutely.
That's like one big thing that drew me to Prime My Body, that my sponsor is a dear friend of mine that I've known for 20 years. And so I already had trust in her. I wanted to hang out with her, wanted to reconnect, and that was really important. And then one of the first things I did was get a ticket to Denver so I could meet the big community in Prime My Body. And it was awesome. It was like, these are my people, like I connect here. And also just like how inclusive it is, and I see that as a very feminist thing. Like everybody's welcome at the table.
That's right.
Everybody's brought in on this effort. And
that's right. And it's beautiful. It breaks down all of those barriers, because again, if you want success for yourself, then that means being sewing into other people's success, and all kinds of people get drawn to this, and people that are outside of your personal circle. So all of a sudden you're interacting with all walks of life, and you've got to be able to welcome and love them and show up for them and sew into them to move that forward. So we break all kinds of barriers when it comes to, race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, all of those things. We really meet each other as people with a shared vision and that community to support to make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I've heard you say that this business with network marketing, with Prime My Body, is personal development with a compensation plan attached. And boy, am I finding that out for sure. Like it's going to push you to grow. And, I feel like you can't be successful unless you're willing to really delve deep into that. But can you talk about how you see that personal development as part of network marketing, and maybe how it's even played out in your own life?
Yeah, such a great question and a great point. And I believe absolute truth here, because this is a business of relationships. When it comes down to it, it's a business of relationships. We're relating with people in the world, we're relating with customers, we're relating with our team. And when you're relating with people, like there can be challenges, right? It can be kind of challenging to deal with people. As awesome as we are, we can also be a little bit of a pain to deal with. So we have to be willing and able to really have success here, to be able to move through those challenges, to move through those places where there may be, stickiness or not being on the same page or perspective. We have to be willing to grow past that, become bigger and stronger than those challenges here. And people that do that are where success happens. I truly believe that if you ever talk to anybody who has kind of a negative story about network marketing, maybe they tried it and it didn't work, is that they really are somebody who came up against their edges and they weren't willing to lean into it. They weren't willing to move past it and grow beyond what their personal limitations or limiting beliefs were. And so they just quit, because it's easy to do. You can just quit, right? Nobody's here to make that happen. So I absolutely believe it's a core of what this is. And it's why I feel like for me, I had a lot of success, because I was already like, a dedicated personal development junkie, right? This is like what I do. And I don't, it's where my joy and passion is to really come into deeper understanding of myself and how can I continue to improve and be a better service in the world and show up as a better person, a better friend, a better sister, daughter, all of these ways of relating with people. How can I be better in the world? And so when this showed up in my life, I realized that a lot of the things that I was doing wasn't really changing. Like as far as, coaching people, being on the phone, helping people navigate maybe personal stuff that's going on, as well as kind of structural, strategic things within the business, like guiding people in that process. But all of a sudden I started getting a paycheck that showed up every week for doing it, right? Like these are things that I was willing to do and love to do before. And now all of a sudden I'm finding a way to get paid for really ultimately helping and serving the people who are nearest and dearest to me. And then again, that tribe growing, that community growing, because we're all drawing new people in and we're growing our circles all the time. So that's been absolutely huge for me, and the growth that has happened on all levels, right? Learning to, really face the parts of me that maybe perhaps I was unwilling to before, that seemed scary or seemed challenging, or I didn't want to acknowledge, right? That were actually part of me, getting to address those recently. One of the things that I'm kind of actively working on right now that I'm watching be so profound is working on boundaries. I'm actually reading or listening. It's an audiobook that I'm listening to, but it's a print version as well. It's a book called Boundaries by, I believe it's Henry Cloud, right? And so understanding myself and the boundaries of the way that I typically kind of as a default have or don't have boundaries, and then how other people have or don't have boundaries and how we respond. Because again, this is relationship. Right? This is about leadership. It's about being able to be that guide, be that leader, be that influencer, and support others in getting to where they need to go. And so understanding the ways and the dynamics and kind of the categories of people and personalities that are out there has been huge. The more I'm willing to look at myself and dive into myself, the better understanding I have of others, the more compassion that I have for others, the more skills that I have to help guide others in their journey as well. So absolutely huge. At the end of the day, we have incredible products. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be here if our products weren't amazing. But I feel like at the end of the day, like so much of what this is like supporting and navigating and helping one another to become the greatest version of ourselves. And when we do that, the ability to share what it is that we have and impact people with the products is just as much. But I don't know, I think it's even more impactful how we show up. And that version of ourselves that shows up, that connects and relates to people. And then the products are kind of this extra tool that we have in our toolbox that we can offer them to help them get results that they're looking for.
Yeah, I think that ties really nicely into my next question for you. There's no doubt that we do things differently in network marketing and definitely in Prime My Body. And I feel like, there's kind of a part of it that's almost a rejection of all those things that we just don't like about business or about culture. And it's kind of, just saying, we don't want those things. Here's what we're creating. Mm-hmm. So how do you see network marketing as kind of this revolutionary act of, kind of recreating what we desire and what we envision?
Totally. I love that concept. So I come from a corporate background. I have a degree in chemical engineering, but I went into corporate sales. I worked in sales for a technology company for years, and 3 years about, and very quickly became very unhappy inside of that. I realized that my life force was really being sucked. I was drained away from me, like trying to meet other people's goals and objectives that at the end of the day, I didn't necessarily feel super connected to, right? And when I made the decision to leave that, it was coming from this deep place inside of me that wanted to be of service, that wanted to build community, that wanted to have an impact in the world, to be a change maker, to help change the world, to help create this better version that I think so many of us have, that we see and we know is possible in our hearts, right? And so, we can go back to the quote, be the change you want to see, right? Gandhi, be the change you want to see. So it means we step into being something different, which means doing something different than the way that we've done it before. And so when I got excited about this and I looked at this, because I love business, I love marketing and sales, like which is ultimately communication. At the end of the day, it's communication. I love this. I feel like I have talent here. I enjoy it. And so I was like, well, how can I take what I'm doing or what I know, the skill set that I have, and actually use business to be a vehicle to create this new paradigm? Because it's necessary, right? We still need services. We still need products. We still need to create solutions for the problems that have been created in this old paradigm, right? And so there still needs to be some of these structures in place, but they need to be revamped. They need to be revised and reframed in a way that really shows up for that. So when we say yes to network marketing, I believe we're saying yes to that dream, and that collective dream of creating a better way, right? And many people come into this and they still have a full-time job, right? And this is something that gets built on the side because, again, you can build this for 10 years and I'll reach a top comp plan and have residual income. Can you do that in your corporate job? If you work for your corporate job for 10 years, at the end of those 10 years, if you stop, what have you created for your long-term future, right? Usually not very much. So a lot of people are building this along the side. And so it is saying yes to there being another way, right? And it's also saying yes to our future generations, right? If we are creating this legacy, there's an opportunity here to create legacy and generational wealth that can support our next generations in living in a reality where they don't even necessarily think that they have to do it the old way, but they have to get in debt through all this college and get these degrees and go and work inside of these institutions where their own personal dreams, values, and beliefs are not taken into account. We're here, we're designing that. We're literally designing what it is that we want to work with, who we want to work with, how we want to work, how much we want to make, how much time we're willing to invest into that. So I feel like everything that we're taking here is this opportunity in this revolution, this, I call it a love revolution, right? I just think it's about creating a better way where we care about one another and we're collaborative with one another and we care about our earth and we care about our communities and we care about humanity as a whole and really working to move them forward. And I think that's the gift that we have with network marketing. And then when we look at what we have with Prime My Body and our products specifically, right? Again, there's a revolution that we have as we're in this world of plant-based wellness. We're looking and working with the hemp plant, which is something that has been, demonized and just kind of ostracized, taken away from us legally for so long, and now it's in a resurgence. So we kind of have this revolutionary product inside of this revolutionary business model that allows us to create incredible change in the world, and and it starts with our personal lives and then the lives of those that are closest to us that we touch with the product and the business opportunity and the ripple out effect of that. I don't know if we could define revolutionary anything other than what we're doing, in fact.
Absolutely. And you already started kind of connecting the two together, but go a little deeper and connect kind of these things that we've been talking about, like the feminine business model and kind of this revolutionary idea and this personal growth. Connect that like really tightly to Prime My Body specifically. I haven't been involved in other network marketing companies. I imagine there are a lot of different cultures that you come across. I feel really fortunate that I stepped into Prime My Body because, like I said, it's just fit. I knew right away it was a good fit.
Yeah, I think we absolutely have a culture here that is phenomenal, right? And it comes from the very, very core of our company, right? Our CEO, our co-founders, so much heart, so much spirit, like so much servant leadership base, like really looking for this desire to make a difference. And a big part of that is through plant-based wellness, which I think is something that is a revolution that's happening in our planet right now, where people are realizing what we put in and on our bodies matter, and to have at least a high plant-based diet and lifestyle is a more sustainable way. And I think it's even beyond sustainable. I think it's how we thrive on this planet, is to have a higher use of the plants that are available to us than the way that current agriculture is. But everybody is showing up with this real desire to have incredible health at like the highest level, And that is doing something that is so incredible, right? We've got our hemp oil, we have a detox system, right? Our skincare and our protein powder is phenomenal, right? Bringing forward hemp. I could go on for days on hemp itself and how I believe hemp is truly a gift and a blessing from, source, God, creator, however you want to claim it. I believe it is this absolute blessing that can serve humanity in the biggest ways. I believe it has the solutions to just about every problem that we face. There's like 50,000 uses for hemp on the planet, but we've been hardly using any of it because our government called it illegal for a very long time. Right? So anywhere from fibers and food to fuel sources to building materials, and then as a supplement, what it's actually doing for our body and allowing us to come back to our truth, come back to our wholeness. I believe at the core, if you're working with our hemp oil, and especially if you work with our hemp oil in our detox, and you're taking out all of the things that are not meant to be in our bodies, that our bodies were not designed to deal with, that didn't even exist on this planet when humans were first created. All of a sudden we are inundated with all of these toxins all of the time, and it slows down our functioning, right? And it slows down our mental capacity, and it slows down our way that we can emotionally process and show up in the world. And so people are faced with struggle all of the time. And most of that is really because we are toxic. We've got too much of the bad stuff in our body. Our body's not operating functionally at the level that it's meant to, and we can't keep that balance in our system. And so we are offering very wonderful, revolutionary, highly effective products that help people get back to that balance place right away. And when all of that is stripped away and you're back at the core of who you are, you're feeling your heart, you're feeling your connection to something greater than yourself, your spirit and your vision and your dreams start to come alive, right? Then all of a sudden we have more energy in ourselves to go out and to create in the world and to create that better world that we want to see. So, their network marketing, I think, is brilliant. And I'm pretty sure, every product I've ever really come across is a good product. People all really care about the products that they have, but people don't have what we have, right? Our hemp and our detox, Dr. Christopher Shade specifically, nobody has seen this. It wasn't available. It wasn't available in the marketplace. And so we're one of the first. We're definitely the fastest growing. I without a doubt believe we are truly the best quality that's on the market, and that this is only going to help improve people's lives. There's no way that we could do anything but improve people's lives, whether they choose to be a customer or they choose to be an affiliate. This is something that drives people and helps them come into the most whole version of themselves. And there's only love here. There is really genuinely only love here. That is something that time and time again, every conference, every regional, every time we get together as a company, the energy, the love, the care, right? This like clarity of consciousness, because people's minds are focused and clear, and everybody's not all stressed out in fight or flight mode because of our hemp oil. Like, people come together and can really sink in and make magic happen.
Yeah, I think you answered like the next 3 questions that I had. So that's perfect. That's perfect. But I just want to affirm, like, that's completely been my experience, that, without this hemp oil, without the detox, there's no way I could be doing what I'm doing right now. I mean, I do work another full-time job. I have a family, and I'm building my business and Prime My Body. And there is no way I would be able to take on that load and keep the excitement and liveliness in my life that I have if I weren't supported by these products. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you've had a very similar experience.
Absolutely. I know from the very beginning, one of the first things that I noticed was how this brought me so much more clarity and real like centeredness and groundedness in my body and my being. But with that, like very exponentially, my responsibilities were growing profoundly, right? My business was booming. My team was growing at rapid stages. I'm on calls and, doing this work all of the time. but I did it with a place of so much more grace and so much more ease, that flow from when I didn't have all those other things. Even when I had less responsibility, I didn't have that level of ease. I didn't have that level of clarity to be able to navigate all of that. So it goes hand in hand for sure. And just one little piece, because I love this story because it was so profound for me. There was a woman who she's in Prime My Body. She's a 76-year-old woman. I met her last fall at a regional event that we had. She's been in network marketing for like 30 plus years. She's somebody that's literally written books on network marketing. And we had this great conversation. And not only has she had a profound, life-changing experience with taking the oil, she told me, she's like, being at this event I'm just so honored and thrilled to get to be a part of this community and to be building this with you. She's like, I have been at events all around the world for the last 30 years, and nothing has had this energy, has had the love and the care that is present inside of this company. She's like, this is the biggest gift that I could ever ask for, to be able to do this work with a product that I can really care about and a community and a culture that is what you guys are. So thank you so much. And I was like blown away. That was like the moment where, sometimes when you're in something from the beginning and you're one of the vision holders, you're like, can you be like, are we actually doing this? I think we're doing this, but are we actually doing this? So to get that outside reflection that like, absolutely what we have here is palpable and it's life-changing in itself, really locked that in for me.
I can completely affirm that. I completely affirm that testimonial there. Well, I do want to wrap it up. I don't want to take up too much time for anybody that's joining us, but thank you so much for being here and having this conversation. And I hope that people listening or people that this gets sent to really benefit from just hearing this perspective of network marketing. And, it's a blast. It's wonderful. We're creating something really unique and amazing. And we have leaders like Kiana that help us through it every step of the way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'll just share, anybody watching this, if this is resonating for you, please do get back in touch with the person that has sent you this video or that invited you here today. And, ask some questions, get them answered. And if you choose to say yes, you want to lock arms and be in this revolutionary movement with us, then I'll be the first to say welcome. So excited to have you to the team. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you, Rebecca.